Hello. In this video, we are going to refactor and organize our code base a little bit. In the past videos, we created this Community Create Dialog here. But the problem is, when we go to the code base, it's huge. Currently, I don't know how many lines. Currently, we are looking at 176 lines, right? So I have decided to clean up a little bit and then continue. I'll start it from the top part to here and then open up the sidebar here because we're going to create some folders here and there and then move the codes to different files, right? So let's start from these constants first, okay? Here, I'm going to export them all first. And then I'm going to create a folder here in the communities because these are community specific. So I'm going to have constants index.ts file here. Here, I'm going to move everything to here. Yeah, looking good. And then import all just by saving it, right? Then we have a little less code here. And then this form schema also, right? Some validation specific. I'm going to create one more folder here. It's going to be called schema index.ts. I'm going to change the name too because form schema is too general, right? So I'm going to say community form schema. Then I'm going to replace the names here and there. Yeah, I'm sure there are a couple of places. Yeah, all good. So then now I'm going to export it and then move it to this schema index file. Yeah, hit save, import, just to make sure all the imports are good, right? And then shut down and then save to import. Then here, unnecessary comment is something that is obvious. I'm not going to worry about it, okay? Here is good. Here is good. Later, we can move these guys into the hook too. But let's leave it for now until things get a little bit clearer, right? We're going to have a bunch of handlers down the road. We're going to move it all together, okay? So let's remove obvious comments, something that we don't need. Yeah, it's already a little bit leaner, right? And then here, we have some sidebar menu button. This button is, you're looking at here, this guy. This is the guy. So I'm gonna move this guy to separate component. This is too bulky, I would say. So what I would do is in the components layouts, here I'm gonna have app sidebar menu button. Look at that. Here we have a button here. Let me just quickly check. Oh, this guy is the link actually, right? Not the button. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. So let's rename it here. I'm going to change it to link here. And then wherever this component is being used, only one place, then we can just swap it, right? Yeah, swap it. Then we have one more place, I guess, right? So somewhere, yeah, button is here. So let's replace it. Hit save. And then make sure import is good. You can leave it like that, but you can also remove those curly braces to look a little bit consistent. Okay, and then let's change the name to link. Yeah, here we go. Then everything is good. Make sure you save it, right? Otherwise, you're going to have an error. It should work exactly the same. There shouldn't be any error, right? All good. And then when I go to the community page, okay, we don't have page yet, right? So everything is good. So then now I'm going to create the button here. Separate component. So what I would do is I'm going to copy paste this link and then change the name to button. Yeah, looking good. And then I'm going to make a modification. Okay, so menu button. And then here, it's not link specific. And then let's remove JSX section, right? And then go to community create here. And then I'm going to cut this guy. Okay, and then paste to right here. But this guy gotta be reusable, right? We cannot have this hard code value. So what I would do is I'm gonna accept title and icon, not the selected, not the URL. icon. Oh, sorry, icon needed it, right? So I just needed to remove these two. Okay, looking good. And then here we need to accept dynamically now, right? Because this is reusable. I cannot just do it as before. Yeah, looking good. Then it's a little bit, leaner, right? And that's not everything, right? We also needed to preserve the functionality of this sidebar menu button. So in order to do that, I'm going to have additional props using component props that is from React. And then pass type of sidebar menu button. Yeah. So it's just to create all the props that, this guy can handle, right? As a child, is active, tooltip, and all different kinds. We can receive it from the parent component. So I'm going to do dot 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 props here, and then pass it to here. Yeah, looking good. Then what it means, we can now use this guy to let's just shut down things that we don't need. Community create here. I'm gonna just leave it like this because I want to use this text, right? So here I'm gonna import that component and then pass the title that is create community, right? And then we need to have the icon that is this plus icon. I'm gonna just paste it. Okay. Then we can remove the repeating here. Okay, so it's a little leaner now, right? So when it's triggered, then this button will be triggered, right? Let's take a look if it's working the same. Okay, so it's still working, all good. Then now, inside of the content here, we have dialog header, right? Header that has tell us about your community. So I think this is a section, this much, right? So I'm gonna make the separate component because when you go to the second stage of this form, watch out. Then this title and the description is different, right? Take a look. Yeah. So we need to make it dynamic in the future. So I'm gonna just make it as a separate component and handle different things. So here I'm gonna create additional component called Community Create Dialog Header. Yeah, RFC Community Create Dialog Header. Yeah, so here maybe we can just paste everything and then import. Should not be from Redux UI, so just to watch out. Okay, so looking good, and then delete the unnecessary import. And then here later we're gonna render this part dynamically. Okay, so then let's import it here. Yeah, so looking good. If you want, you can leave comments, right? Maybe header, preview card, and the form, right? Preview card we already refactored, so it's a separate component, which is good. And then this form specific, I want to do that too, but let's leave it for a little bit later. And the footer, I'm going to make the separate component for this. I'm just gonna copy paste and then change the name because it's similar, right? Footer here, and then change the name here, footer. And then get the JSX. Let's just shut down things that we don't need. Yeah, we have a lot of component that is open. Let me just shut down everything and then reopen. So community create and the footer, right? So here I'm gonna cut this guy, okay? And then replace here, JSX section, and then import. The button should not be React date picker. It gotta be from component UI button. That's where we keep, our session components. And then here is name valid and then stuff. We can declare a prop here, right? Props. And then maybe we can say is next disabled, okay? Which is Boolean. And then we can pass that right here, and then pass it here. Yeah, just simplifying it a little bit, okay? Yeah, looking good. Then this part is good, so let's import it, but we need to make sure that we need to preserve it, right? So here, import, and then we're gonna have is next to disabled. I can just copy paste this guy. There we go. Yeah, then we can delete these. Yeah, so much leaner now, right? So this one is footer, right? There we go. So header, preview card, form, footer. Awesome. It's really, really leaner. Yeah, we are getting there. Form is most complex part, so I'm gonna leave it for later. One thing I really didn't like is this one. I want to call it dialog, okay? So I'm gonna change where it's being used. In the app sidebar, only one place. So I'm gonna just replace it here. There we go. Then I think the imported properly. Here we go. So everything is changed, and then change the file name to dialog. Yeah. So then file lines up, together, right? So then I can find component a little bit easier. Yeah, looking good. Then now let's just save it and then shut down things that we don't need, right? Yeah. So going back to the community create dialog. So inside of here, now let's try to refactor the form. There are many different ways of handling the form here. If you just go to Reddit application, you might be thinking submitting and then having new form. But I am thinking to handle everything together. I'm going to keep the stage, community name, description, banner, icon, topics, and all different kinds in a single form. That's what I would do. So I would call this part the stage 1, and then this part the stage 2, stage 3, and so on and so forth. Okay? What it means, this is a specific page, I needed to have a separate component. Okay? So this part. So let's go. Here in the form component, we have two different fields. 1 and then 2, right? We have two different fields. These two fields I want to have in one component. I might just call it Community Create Stage1. Let's do that. So this one is a form field component here. So let's create it. Community Create Stage1. This guy will have the code that are these. I'm just gonna cut it and then paste here. Awesome. But this guy is complaining because we cannot have two elements, right? So let me just redo it. I'm gonna have a fragment and then paste. And then import, make sure all the imports are from right place. Okay, awesome. So then now we need to accept, right props, right? Let's do that. We need to have a description and the name and so on and so forth. So what I would do here is I'll be receiving props. First of all, I need to have form.control, right? So this is the type, right? I will say this one will be form control, and then this guy control can come from React hook form. This guy accepts the generic type. We can infer this type with the dot. I can say type of schema name, right? So community form schema, I think, right? Okay. Yeah, form schema. Okay, so this is the guy. And then we're gonna add this prop to here. Maybe we can just retype it. It's easier than type. And then right here, two places, right? And then we need a name and description here. So I'm gonna accept those two. So name, string, description, string. Let's accept them. And then pass them to necessary place. Okay, all errors are resolved. Then this one is good. Yeah, so everything is good. So then I can just import this component and then pass the right prompts, right? So here I'm gonna do that and then pass the right arguments, right? So here form control is a form.control, and then the name is name, description is description. Yeah, so this one is looking good. So then I think this is pretty good in my opinion. Yeah, we can go more, but yeah, for now I'm gonna make a commit and then I can continue in the next video. Okay, so let's go here, git add, git commit, and then saying refactor and organize files. Thank you for watching. Bye now.